Hi, my name's Emily Dyer, and I'm a ceramic artist working in Studio 394 at the Northrup King Building. And I'd like to welcome you to my studio here. I've been doing ceramics for about 15 years now in one form or another. Mostly functional work, wheel thrown and slab built. In the last 3 or 4 years, my work has taken kind of a new turn where I've been working with more highly decorative surfaces on the work, featuring illustrations that I come up with myself. A lot of the designs are inspired by vintage quilts and textiles. My family owns a quilt store in South Minneapolis, Glad Creations, and it's a family business run by my mom, my aunt, and my grandma that I've been involved with since I was a child, so I kind of grew up in the middle of a lot of textiles and fabrics and gorgeous handmade quilts. And that's really where I started to value handmade craft and art items that can be used in your daily life. I take a lot of design motifs that kind of appeal to me and reinterpret them and put them together in new ways to hopefully come up with something that speaks to the past, but is something a little bit more contemporary and fresh that you haven't seen before. Everything that I make here is made from start to finish by hand. Most of the pieces are thrown on the potter's wheel, and some are formed by hand, either hand-built or made from slabs of clay that I form into molds. The process is kind of a long process from start to finish. You make the piece has to dry and be trimmed. Then at a certain point where the clay is a little bit dry, kind of leather hard, the designs are applied. I've developed my own process for getting the illustrations onto the pots that is a multi-step process. Some of the patterns are impressed into the clay body when it's still a little bit wet. A lot of the colors are painted on at the point where the piece is bone dry and has not been fired yet. I use a mix of commercial products and products that I make myself. The pieces are fired once in a bisque firing, and then they are stained, glazed, and fired again in a glaze firing in an electric kiln to about 2,300 degrees Fahrenheit, which allows a durable finished product that will stand up to daily use. I have people that collect my work. I know that the thing that I think is so great is when people come back to me to buy more stuff, it's usually with the comment of, you know, we use your mugs every single day. They're our favorite mugs, and now we want to get some for my sister, or we want to get, you know, a set of bowls to go with them. So I know that they're really enjoying them and getting some kind of connection with using the pieces. Let me just show you a few of the pieces and some of the designs. This piece is pretty typical of the kind of illustration work that I do on my pots. A lot of the bird and flower motifs are images that I've kind of picked up here and there, a lot of times from antique applique quilts. As you can see, there's a lot of fine detail with the stitching patterns that I've actually impressed into the surface of the pot. I love that kind of idea of the stitches, you know, someone's time spent making something beautiful. That's something about quilting that I really connect with, and I've tried to kind of give a sense of that, you know, the important piece of putting time and work into making something beautiful. I also do pieces that are a little more graphic, kind of the juxtaposition of different scales of pattern, different types of texture. Okay, this piece has a good example of kind of the different techniques I use to put the illustrations on my pots. As you can see, it's a multi-step process. The stitching marks are actually impressed into the surface of the pot, so they actually have a nice tactile quality when you touch the surface of the pot. I also use techniques with slip trailing to create a raised dotted surface on the pot, which also I know is something people really respond to when they see my pots in person and pick them up to hold them, is how good it feels in your hand, and that's one reason that they might reach for that tumbler out of the cupboard every morning. I love the idea that my work will be going home with someone. It'll be used in their kitchen, it'll be used on their table, it might be given as a special gift for a wedding. You know, it's something that people are going to use and love, and hopefully will become important in their family rituals, family meals. You know, I also think that as a piece of art, it can stand on its own as a display piece. I would invite you to come to our studio at a building event and come and see the work we have available here. I think when you take home a handmade ceramic item, you're taking home something that's really unique and special. No two pieces are the same. People connect with handmade ceramic work. You can kind of feel the maker's mark there. You know, every piece is made from start to finish by hand, and I think that gives it kind of a special emotional resonance. We're looking forward to seeing you here at the studio in the Northrup King Building.